found a costume, and I'm gonna pull it out. I have all of them. They're all somewhere. I just went out into the garage, but the first one I found was the original. We have a boot. This was actually funny because to make this boot, all I did was get some red spandex leggings, and it's always but this is like a weird, you can see it's almost like I can't remember what it's called, like a velvety, weird. When it came, I didn't mean for it to be velvety like this, like soft. Looks pretty cool though, but when I first got it, I went, oh no, it's not what I want. I didn't want it to be all soft. Why is it all soft? To get the bottoms to where I can actually, it's like an actual shoe bottom. And on the inside, what did I do on the inside? I think I stuck a, you can see on the inside, I just took like a normal like Dr. Scholl's or something insole. Pretty sure you have to have it on too. I think I did everything with stuff on because I knew it would change once I took it off. I would draw a little mark of where to cut because I didn't want to waste a whole set of like spandex bottoms or whatever. I put the insole inside, and then I got like a woman's shoe because it's very, very thin, like a granny shoe from Walmart for like, it was like nothing, like $7 or something. I bought some granny shoes. Cut the actual shoe off, and all I had was the sole. And then I remember sitting down or something, and then just putting a bunch of shoe goo, because as a skateboarder, I always knew about shoe goo was the best like adhesive for like anything rubber, suede, anything like that. I must have put it on the bottom of the rubber sole. Tons of shoe goo on top of the rubber sole, and then the insole was inside of this, and I had it on, and then I stood on the actual rubber bottom, and I just stood there. So I just stood up, planted my body weight on it. I think I just had to stand there for a while. And then as I'm standing there, I knew it was like setting. And then I didn't lift my whole foot up, but I did wiggle my foot out of the actual boot. Well, this was still smashed. This was in place. And I wiggled my leg out of both legs, of both boots. And then I stuck like a big stack of like books. I don't remember, just like normal textbooks from like a classroom. I think I stacked like a bunch on each, and I left it overnight, and then the next day it worked. I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but it worked. And so that's how I was able to be on like rooftops and doing all kinds of stuff in like gnarly alleys with all kinds of trash and who knows what else. But I had a solid shoe. So that's how I was able to do the boots. Let's see what else we got here. Here's another boot. So we got the two boots. Now, let's go to the gloves. Here's a glove. Inside. Outside. Ooh, I'm scared to put it on. I'm touching it though. I might as well put it on so I can kind of explain. I kind of cut everything apart and how I wanted it, and then I took it to a seamstress, and then I asked I drew out exactly what I wanted the seamstress to do, and then that's how she sewed it together. After that, I came up with different ways, but we'll go through the other ways in other suits. You can see like there's some holes in the fingers, which I never minded holes and stuff, because I felt like it just kind of added to the dynamic of the character. He's always getting in fights and stuff. I mean, if there's going to be a hole in his glove, he's not going to fix it every single day. But the one problem I always ran across was the lines, like the web lines on the inside would always fade, and that was kind of annoying. Just overall, the fingers, you can kind of see, it's kind of bad lighting, you could see the lines, like the webs throughout, but then you can see, oh, where'd the webs go? And I always had to kind of like redraw them as I noticed. I always stayed on top of it. And if you can see here, I put like a little piece of Velcro. And that was on there because the way I did the webs, which I wish I did a better job at the webs. It is what it is, though. But I mean, I should have done like it looked like it. The webs were, it looked like it like sprayed out. Instead, I just did one like rope and had them wiggle it. Anyway, so I would always have the other, like this is the soft end of the Velcro, the receiving end, and then the other end, which is that rougher side that connects, that would just stick. I had that always twisted around like a web line, and I would just twist it around like a small piece around the end of a web. So then I would always just, okay, well, I'm gonna do a web scene. I would stick it on there, and then if I did the web shooter hand pose, I would have whoever's on the outside of the camera's lens, they would be holding it, and then they would wiggle it, and we would always have to do that backwards. So I'm like this, and then I had the mask on so I can talk without moving my face much. So I remember always telling him, wiggle, 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 like, because I had to cue, I was like directing as I was filming the scenes that I was Spider-Man, and I just remember going, wiggle, 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 pull, and then they would pull. I completely forgot about all this until like just now. And when I would say pull, I would have to bring my hand down, and then wherever I turned from, I would have to turn back. So then in reverse, it was like, and then it looked like it shot out, and I would speed that section. So it would just be reverse. And then once I went to there, like right before it would shoot, I would edit it to where just that little, right before it shot, I would fast speed that up. That's why I would have to do the wiggle, 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 wiggle for a long time usually. Not super long, but much longer than I knew, because I knew if it was just normal time, you would just see wiggle, 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 wiggle. But if I speed it up, it's like, and it looked like it was like spraying out kind of violently. I forgot about this. Look, this is the arm of the actual suit I'm about to pull out, but I remember, I completely forgot about this. I used to have to safety pin, see a little safety pin, and it's like attached, because I would get annoyed at how often the gloves would sag. They would always start to sag, and it was just like, and I couldn't see. It's like 110 degrees on a rooftop, and just like, and I'm like directing at the same time that I'm filming every scene. I mean, I was the director and everything, so it's just one more thing to worry about. So I remember I safety pins the gloves, so I would get them exactly where I want them, and then I had a safety pin that stuck it. Here's the suit. Oh my gosh, this thing is filthy. So this is the front. You can see it just goes all the way. And you can see on the bottom, is it still, yeah. For the bottoms, because that's another thing, because the leggings would always ride up, and I needed the leggings to stay down so it stayed tight and lean on my leg, but then I needed the gloves to stay up. So these gotta stay up, these gotta go down and like actually have some pull. So what I did, I rigged up so much silly stuff. I cut the you can see it's from underwear. So I cut the waistband off of underwear, cut it the right portion, and then I sewed, I don't know how I got that on there, I sewed it onto the bottoms of the leggings. So then this part would go around, let's say I had the leg on, like it would go, like it would be like that, and then this is like on my leg, if I had it on. I'm not putting it on, sorry. And then I put the boot on top of that. So then this is getting pulled down. The boots, I always just had to kind of pull up. And then but that's, I completely forgot I did that. That's funny. But yeah, the suit, I mean, it's still intact. And then like there's a spider. I remember the spider, I just went to like a Home Depot type store, and I got like it's like a solid plasticky material, And I had to get an X-Acto knife. I drew it on paper, and then I traced it. I got the actual piece of paper. I didn't cut it out and then try to trace it onto the plastic. I drew it, put the whole piece of paper against a sheet of this rubber material, and then I got an X-Acto knife. I think I taped it down really good, and then with the X-Acto knife, I did the outline, just tracing the lines of the spider. Took the paper off, then the scratching outline was on the plastic, and then I had to just dig with the X-Acto knife. But yeah, that's pretty much, and then the same thing, but the back, you can see the spider for the back. Let me zip this thing up so you can actually see. Another thing, the zipper with this. I'm sure anyone that's ever done a fan film, you know, like, I could see the zipper is like so tweaked. Zippers are a pain. But you can see this is half. I cut the big spider on the back in half. See? But, and then it's the same rubber, so I had to do the same process. That's half of it right there. But I had to do the same thing again and put the velvet over the rubber, or the red spandex, so that it was red. So that was a job, and I can't believe I did all this. Looking at this, I'm like, I don't know. This is the torn mask. Loved wearing this one of my personal favorites. You can actually see, this is the inside, so you can see through this eye pretty good, and of course you can see through the tear. And then the back, just so I can easily pull it on and off, I did Velcro. So I just Velcro it like that. So then it was closed and it was tight. And then just pull it off. And then here's the original mask. There it is. It stinks. I can smell it. A lot of sweat is soaked into this thing. Man, I got it. I didn't like the beak. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? It's supposed to be just be tight against my nose and I could have redid it, but I just stuck with it. I don't know. I guess it was just because I did so much other stuff and was doing so many things all at once that little things like this I let slide. On this mask, I remember I was happier with how I did the eye, and you can kind of see I drew like a bunch of, you can see that, it might be hard to see, but I drew with white marker something, I drew a bunch of cracks. Very hard to see in this lighting. It looks cool in person. I was always happy with that because it looked like shattered glass or like shattered. And then this one, the eyes were a little different, but same thing. So that's the costume right there. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's it. So please, guys, help me out. Subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Share. Definitely. I think that's the way it's going to happen. So if everyone I have that's subscribing and actually is into it right now, share it with everyone you know. Just hit that share link and then get this channel out there. Ring the bell. Hit the bell so then you could always be informed. Yeah. I'll see what I can post tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.